Yeah, but that's why we're working with the theories of energy transference and like frequency interference. So in the mageeeo example, in the love triangle example, see, it all stems from my conflict of self. In one hand, feeling like in love with a man, but in my mental space, he's the most abhorrent thing that he's Satan, right? So, and this has been years now, like years trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, okay? And so what we're down to is the theories of energy transference and frequency interference. So in the mageeeo example is that me on one side being treated like shit, right? But then he has a woman on the other side. This is all, also based on like newfound information about mageeeo. So then on the other side, he'll have a woman that he's treating like absolute princess royalty, who has every reason to fall in love with him, right? Because it's not like I wasn't spending time with a nice guy. It was just a nice guy that treated me like I was the last thing on his list, and it manifested in a lot of like really abusive ways. So that's the energy transference, is like if you have this male conduit in the middle, the energy of the women are going to kind of like flow together. So I end up falling in love with him because there's a woman over here falling in love with him. Now, obviously, my experience with him mentally overrides the energy transference, but the energy transference and the frequency interference are kind of the same thing. So in the moment, there's an energy transference between the woman who is legitimately falling in love with him versus the woman who's being abused by him. And so the frequency interference is like, we're both women on his dick, right? So the frequency of being a woman on his dick puts me kind of, and ends up getting me muddled with everybody who's ever been on this male person's dick, which probably like exacerbates the duality of consciousness about it. But and then of course the predator prey theory also, which isn't necessarily different, but I think it's the predator prey aspect that like brings it all to life to make sure that I recognize that there is some kind of big energetic thing happening. Otherwise I can't figure out. I mean, it's like logically, there's no way to even like look at this man again, right? For me, in my experience with him, there's no reason to look at this man again. But the conflict, it has to be that I'm just in this frequency of X, or I'm in this frequency of on his dick. So it's like the energy transference and the frequency interference are like